Okay, so let's get into some relaxing yoga. We're going to use resistance bands today for shoulders, if you wish. Before we get there, we're going to settle in to our bodies. So getting yourself into a comfortable position, whatever that looks like today. Remember, you can be in a chair with your back supported, you can be sitting on the floor with your back supported, or you can be sitting on a cushion, legs arranged, however's most comfortable for you today. If you're happy to close your eyes, let your eyes be closed, and if you're not, just let your gaze drop to the floor. And take a couple of moments to notice the positioning of your body. Is it comfortable, or as comfortable as you can be today? And if it's not, make the necessary adjustments. And then bring your awareness into your brain, and we're just having a quick check-in to the mind. How is our mind today? Is it chatty? Is it positive, negative, fast, slow? What is going on in the mind today? And it's from a point of observation, avoiding getting caught up in the stories that your mind is running just now. And then can we bring our awareness into our breath? What is your breath doing right now? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it chest? Is it belly? Are you holding your breath? And again, from a place of observation, just to notice where we're at right now. And then we can be a bit more attentive with the breath. Where possible, can we breathe in through the nose? Sending the breath down into the lower lobes of the lungs, taking the breath past that upper chest, right down. The slow breath can help it get there. Sometimes hands onto the lower ribs can help it get there. Bringing attention and awareness to the breath can help it get there. If you find that you're still getting quite stuck in the upper chest, take a couple of exhales where you're making audible exhales. So whether you make a grumble or a sigh, just create some noise so that it creates a vibration in the upper part of the chest. And that can help clear and allow the breath to go a little bit deeper in. And with your hands, I'm going to place the hands on the lap. Hand face down will help you be more grounded. Hand face up can help bring more energy in. So depending on what you need, you can place your hands either way. If you're not sure, just sit with your hands in the most comfortable position. And that comfortable position might be hands on the ribs. It might be one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. And as we're taking these steady breaths, we notice our posture. Are we tall through the spine? Are the shoulders, can we drop them down away from the ears, lightly drawing the shoulder blades towards each other to create that sense of opening at the chest? The back of the neck nice and long so that the chin's slightly tucked in. Just observing how focusing on the breath is making you feel. Again, check in physically, check in mentally. Just creating any kind of disturbance. Notice and make the adjustments that you need to make. So if that disturbance is things in your body have started to shift and your comfort has changed, adjust your positioning. If your mind's jumping in and increasing chatter, just notice it. Thank it for being there. And maybe count your breath in, count your breath out, give yourself a distraction from the chatter in the mind. I just want to stay here for another 2 rounds of breath. And at the end of your next exhale, if your eyes are closed over, start to flutter them open. And then give your body any movement that is telling you that it needs. So if you need to change the position that you're sitting in, if you want to have a big stretch up, if you want to go into child's pose, do some twists and turns, anything at all that your body's just saying this would feel really nice right now. And then starting to prepare to do our hand and foot massage. So if you're using a cream or oil, get a little drop and start to rub that in. But as you're starting to rub in, drop the shoulders back and down. Check in with your breath that you haven't started to hold your breath. If you're wearing short sleeves, you might want to start to come up into the wrist, maybe a little bit into the forearm. And then working up each finger and the space between individually. Noticing how things feel from the palm of the hand and also from the back of the hands. When you've done one side, moving over to the other. And just noticing how your hands are feeling today. What have you been doing over the last couple of days? Are there any little niggly points? Need a bit more attention? And then once you've massaged both the hands, we'll work the webbing. So using your index finger, just pressing down into that webbing and try and separate the fingers so you're creating a little bit of tension and pressing down to notice how tense you are in that space, how free the movement feels. And come from the palm side for a few pulses and from the back of the hand for a few pulses. And then when you're ready, move on to the next space. And then the next space. So maybe just spend a moment or two in each space noticing if any of them are particularly tight, and then go back to the one that is tight if there is one or two that are tighter. And can you check in with your breath? you're not holding your breath, that you're getting a nice long slow exhale, particularly if you're meeting tension. And then have a check in with your posture, that you've not started to collapse in posture, so when we sit nice and tall. When you've done one hand, go over, same thing on the other. One hand might be tighter than the other, in which case you might want to spend more time on that hand. So if it was the first hand you did, once you've done this hand, you go back. And if this hand was a bit tighter, can we observe the breath? Work into those spaces. And then once you've done both hands, we're going to link all the fingers together and give that a nice squeeze as tightly as you can. Now, as you're squeezing the hands in tight, you keep the shoulders relaxed. We bring the heel of the hands together, let go of some of the tension there, so fingers are still linked, but just not squeezing tight. Bring the heel of the hands together and then circle at the wrist. And then circle the other way. And then we're going to change the link of the fingers over to the other side. So start with the squeeze first. Just taking a couple of breaths with that tight squeeze. And then relax the squeeze, but keep your fingers as they are, heel of the hands together, and circle at the wrist. And then let's link the fingers back the first way and press the palms out. And then with those palms pressed out, we start to lift the hands up. Now, as we're lifting the hands up, keep your ribs tucked in, keep the spine nice and long. Just come up as high as feels okay. Check you're not holding your breath. Can you take a nice long exhale? And then releasing the fingers, gently bringing the hands down. And then we're going to link the fingers the other way. So you might need to link the fingers the comfy way first and then switch them. That's what I had to just do there. And then press the palms out. And then starting to lift up. So doing that on the way in an exhale. Stopping for an inhale as often as you need. And releasing and bringing that down. So adjusting your position, let's go to our feet and then we'll come back to the shoulders. So if you've got long trousers on and they allow, maybe shift the leg up a wee bit so you can get into the ankle. Putting any cushions of support in that you need so that you can maintain as good a posture as you can while working into your feet. So we will need to lean forward to get access to the feet. Try and not collapse through the abdomen, try and stay tall. Massaging in and around the sole of the foot, into the arches, and around the heel and around the ankle, and across the top of the foot. And then when you're ready to, we're going to go to each of the toes individually. So we're going to hold towards the back of the foot with one hand. We're going to pull the toe along and then circle around. So we're circling into that knuckle joint. A couple of circles each way and then work your way across the toes. Pull along. A couple of circles each way. And then we're going to work the spaces between the toes individually to start with. So like we did with the hands, from the sole of the foot, from the top of the foot with the index finger pressing down. Couple of breaths at each point, just noticing if there's any tension, because you can come back to it if it is a point of particular tension. Making sure that you're not holding your breath here. And then starting to comb the fingers through and out between each of the toes. And then getting your fingers in between the toes so that you're taking hands with your foot, and it can be just the fingertips if that's all your foot's allowing. We're going to pull the foot long, so creating space between all those bones, and then we're wringing the foot out. And then easing the fingers out from between the toes and adjusting your position to get to the other foot. Oil on, a quick check in with your posture and your breath. And noticing how this side feels. Do we have better movement on this side or more restricted movement? We have more tender points. Does this foot feel freer? And then when you're ready to, we're going to go to each toe individually. So pull that toe long and then circle into that knuckle joint and work your way across the toes. And then working the spaces in between the toes. And how does this foot feel in comparison? There's always one foot that's tighter than the other. And then starting to slide fingers through and out. And then can take hands with the foot, pull the foot long and wring the foot out. And using the fingers out from between the toes. And then bringing yourself into a comfortable seated position. And it might be how we started, it might be in a different position now. We're going to work into the shoulders. So getting your bands. And we want to have tall spine. Take your arms out to the side so they're going away from your body just to get the length that feels right for you. And then With nice long arms, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, start to lift up. Now as we're lifting up, we're keeping the spine long, keeping the ribs tucked in, we're keeping the chin tucked in. Squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other at the top, and then gently back down. Now I want you to notice your breath as you're doing this. If you're holding your breath, can we let it go? Can we maybe take an inhale when our hands are down, and then an exhale as we're bringing our arms up? Inhale as you're coming down, and exhale as you're coming up. Inhale down, and exhale up. And then inhale down, then we're going to change the breath. So we're going to wait at the bottom until you've done an exhale, and then you're going to inhale your arms up. And then exhale the arms down. And just notice if that change of breathing pattern has changed the movement. One breathing pattern might feel better for you in the movement than the other, depending on where you're holding tension in your shoulders, can determine which breathing pattern works best for you. So we're going to do this another 4 times. But I want you to pick the breathing pattern that felt right for you, that felt best for you in that movement. And if you didn't really notice a difference between them, then just allow the breathing rhythm to be whatever works best for you. So squeezing those shoulder blades together. And then your last one. And then bring that down at the bottom. Let go of the band and just roll the shoulders. And then without the band, we're going to bring the arms up, open the arms out, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then you're going to bring the arms in and over, cross the arms over each other. Notice which arm's your top arm, because when we do this the second time, we're going to switch the arms round. So you can have hold at the back of the body, let the chin drop down into the chest, send the breastbone back, and then just have a little wiggle from side to side. Taking a couple of deep breaths in and out here. And then have a quick check which arm's the top arm. So when we inhale, open out, and then exhale, wrap the arms, we're wrapping the other arm as your top arm. Holding on, drop the chin, send the breastbone back. Have a wiggle, can we drop the shoulders down. Nice deep breath in. Breathing out. And one more deep breath in and out here. And then inhale, open out, switch the arms around again. And this time we're going to lift the chest and look up to the ceiling and give that bit of a wiggle. And then on an inhale, open that out. Switch the arms one more time, wrap the arms, and then lift the chest and look up towards the ceiling and give that a wiggle. And then bring that back to center and cross the arms, let the arms come down, roll the shoulders again. And then we're going to bring the arms behind, link the fingers, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, and then if you can you start to move the hands back without pushing the chest forward to keep the ribs tucked in. And squeeze back. Now, if linking the arms feels really uncomfortable or it's really painful, then just place the hands in at the lower back and squeeze the elbows back. Only link if that feels okay. And then the next time you push the arms back, can we lift the chest and look up? And then bring the chest down, and then can we push the arms out, but start to send the shoulders forward, looking towards your belly button. And then bring that back up and release the hands, let the arms drop down to the side, give the shoulders a roll. We're going to take our bands, and we're going to take your hands about shoulder width, and then bring the band up overhead. So keeping the ribs tucked in, keeping the chin tucked in, spine nice and long. So if your shoulders are tight and you can't get your arms directly over the head, then just bring them to the angle that you can bring them to. You're going to use your right hand to pull you over to the right. Keep your left butt cheek down in your seat and check that this top shoulder hasn't twisted forward. So keep the shoulders in line with each other. So we're getting stretched into the armpit, into the waist. And then use your top hand to pull you back up and over to the other side. And again, check shoulders are not twisting. Ribs are staying tucked in. Top hand pulls you back up. Take it over. Top hand pulls you up and take it over. And then top hand pulls you back up to the centre. Let the arms come down, release the band, let the arms just hang at the side. Give the shoulders a roll again. And then from here, we're going to come over to our knees. We're going to come onto our hands just for a second, and then we're going to drop down into the forearms. Before we drop to the forearms, I just want you to check that hips are over the knees, spine's nice and long, and then come down one at a time onto your forearms. You're just going to rest here, letting the body arrange itself, letting the spine drop out of the pelvis, letting the chest very gradually sink closer to the floor. So we're looking for this sensation of melting in the body. And as you start to melt in, maybe you edge the arms a little bit forwards. But still keeping the hips over the knees. And just looking for that sensation of melting. If your forehead comes to the floor, let it rest into the floor. And maybe you edge the hands a little bit further forward. Maybe it gets comfortable enough that the chest is coming to the floor and that you come onto your chin and you look towards the end of your mat. If that doesn't feel good in your neck for any reason, then don't force that. Just edging the fingers forward, getting a nice stretch into the armpits, into the shoulders. Use your breath as a good gauge, so if you're struggling to breathe, if you're fighting with your breath, then your body's fighting with itself, so edge back. Another 2 breaths here if you can. And then just gently, if you're on your chin, come onto your forehead, and then slowly edge the forearms back. So slowly, as the forearms start to edge back, you might want to take your hips back towards your heels. You might want to edge the knees wider to give your belly space.
Just settling into child's pose. So if your backside's nowhere near your heels, you might bring your arms even further back. We're going to slide the left elbow back to the left knee. Just let that arm rest there. Let the forehead rest onto the floor. And if your forehead's not resting into the floor, maybe make a fist with your left hand and let your forehead rest onto the hands. Then you're going to very slowly inch your right hand forward. Now, as you start to go forward, I want your backside to maintain that contact with the heels. If you feel any change there, stop moving your arm forward and wait. Use nice deep breaths in and out to let the body melt and soften. And then only if and when it does, you take another edge forward. We're using these long, slow exhales to encourage the body just to soften, to let it know that we're safe in this position that we're in, that this movement is intentional. And any tension that it's clinging on to keep us safe, we don't need it right at this moment. And then we're going to start to edge the hand over towards the left, so that right hand is just very slowly shifting over, just centimetre by centimetre, moving your head as needed. Your head's coming with it, so you're starting to come into a side bend over to the left. Noticing again where you're feeling any stretches, any pulling. Pause and wait until the body settles, until the body's happy with that movement. And depending where you're holding tension, you could feel this movement anywhere from the fingertips down that right arm, right down even in as far as the tailbone. So just depending on where your body's holding tension. As your backside starts to lift from the heel, and if it has, can you just set yourself back, make that connection again. We're going to take 3 long, slow breaths here. And then at the end of your next exhale, very slowly going to edge your way back to the centre. And sliding that right hand back. And then we're going to do the same thing to the left side, so very slowly. We're edging that left hand forward, back side is staying connected to the heel. Wait for the body to release, wait for the body to let go. And noticing on this side as we're edging forwards, do you have more freedom of movement on this side, or does this side feel a bit stiffer? Does this side need a bit longer? And no expectations, no judgment, just getting curious. And then we're starting to edge over towards the right. Again, there's no hurry. moving the head when you need to. Noticing if your backside's lifted from the heel, and if it has, just edge it back. Knowing that the body's always looking for that path of least resistance. And we're just trying to find where the resistance is so that we can untangle it. And then when you're at this end point, I just want you to stay here for 3 full breaths. Slow and deep with the breath. And then when you're ready, just edging that back to the centre. Moving slowly, allowing the length that we've created to stay. Sliding that elbow in, gently rolling yourself up. Rolling up into a seated position. Let the arms come down to the side and just do a couple of shoulder rolls here, noticing if anything's changed. From here, we're going to come back towards our hands and knees. We'll do a little bit of threading the needle. To bring one hand up to the temple, rotate the breastbone out, rotate the breastbone in. Same side, rotate out, rotate in. You can stay with your hands at the temple, or you can bring your hand up to the ceiling and then slide the hand through and under. And if this feels like a good stretch, then maybe you stay here for a few breaths. Or maybe it feels better to keep mobile. So really noticing what your body is happy with, what it is that it needs to be. And then when you're ready, bring it back to the centre. We'll do the same to the other side. So start with a hand on the temple, rotating the breastbone out, and then noticing how this side might feel different. And then on this side, what does this side mean? Reach up and reach it through, or do we want to stay mobile on this side? And then when you're ready, bringing that back to centre. Edging the hips back to child's pose. Next deep breath into the back of the body. Breathe out, letting the body soften. Edging the hands back. Rolling the spine up. Rolling the shoulders. Noticing how that feels. And we're going to come over onto our back to do another remove and then go into relaxation. So if you don't have your blankets and pillows and stuff close by, grab them so that they're close by. We're going to come over onto our back with the knees bent, feet flat on the floor.
Just taking a couple of breaths here. Hands down to the sides, so the palms face down. We're going to come into shoulder bridge from here. So when you're ready on an exhale, press the feet and shoulder blades down, keep the back of the neck long, tuck the tailbone under, roll the spine up. Just come up as high as is okay for you, where you're keeping the tailbone tucked under. Doesn't need to be high in the shoulder bridge. And then gently roll the spine back down. And then when you're ready, roll it back up. And then roll it back down. And then rolling up. Holding here, bringing the arms up and over. So if the shoulders are feeling a bit tight, take the arms out wide. We're going to keep the arms where we are as we roll the spine back down. And then we're going to pull the arms back to start position. Rolling up. So if that felt good, adding the arms in, we're going to add the arms in again. If it didn't feel so good, maybe try the arms out in a T shape rather than out in a Y shape. And then we'll roll the spine back down. And then bring the arms back. And then one last time. Bringing the hips up. Taking the arms out. Bringing the hips back. And bringing the arms back. Bring one knee into the chest. Bring the other knee in. Just take a gentle walk from seat. Bring one foot to the floor. Bring the other foot to the floor. So having a quick check in. Is there any movement we haven't done today that your body's really crying out for? And if there is, give your body that movement. When you're ready to, yourself comfortable, tucked in for relaxation. So if there's any pillows you want to put in place, any blankets, deciding where you want your legs to be. So any lower back issues, it might be better to keep the knees bent, feet wide, and let the knees rest against each other. Or if you prefer the legs being out long, having some pillows in underneath the knees so that the lower back can stay relaxed. Hands can be resting on the body or away from the body, whichever feels more comfortable, more settling for you. Just let your body get settled in. As you settle in, you take a couple of breaths, noticing how things feel. Does anything need to be adjusted or moved so that you can be more comfortable and undisturbed? Having a quick check-in with your minds. How are your thoughts now? Have they changed since the start? And again, just from observation, curiosity, no judgment. How is your breath? Just allowing the body to settle. And if the mind is still a little bit noisy, a little bit chatty, as we're breathing in, can we imagine coolness and calmness spreading throughout the body? And as you're breathing out, allowing the cares and worries to float away. Breathing in, coolness and calmness. Breathing out, cares and worries. floating away. Allowing the body to become heavier and heavier. Go and allow an intention to come to mind, something that you wish to come true in your life, and setting that intention in an I am statement. It could be I am calm, I am focused, I am powerful, whatever it is that you feel you need right now. And repeat that to yourself 3 times with feeling, awareness, and certainty. We're going to take a trip throughout the body, allowing the mind to jump from one part to the next. And we'll go with the sequence that we're quite familiar with, starting at the right hand and at the thumb, second finger, third, fourth, fifth, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, knee, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, right toes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The left hand thumb, second finger, third, fourth, fifth, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, knee, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, left toes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the back of the body, into the back of the head where it touches to the floor. Back of the head, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, the spine, right buttock, left buttock, back of the right thigh, back of the left thigh, back of the right calf, back of the left calf, the right heel, the left heel. And now moving to the top of the body and starting at the top of the head. Top of the head, forehead, both sides of the head, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, eyebrow centre, right eyelid, left eyelid, right eye, left eye, right ear, left ear, right cheek, left cheek, right nostril, left nostril, upper lip, lower lip, chin, jaw, throat, right collarbone, left collarbone, right chest, left chest, middle of the chest, upper abdomen, lower abdomen, the navel, right groin, left groin, right thigh, left thigh, right kneecap, left kneecap, right chin, left shin, right ankle, left ankle, right toes, left toes. Have full awareness of your body and the points that are connecting to the floor. Have awareness of your breath and the parts of your body that move in synchronization with the breath. Awareness of body, awareness of breathing. The body is feeling heavy and relaxed on the floor. Bring to mind that intention that you set a few minutes ago and repeat it again in that same I am statement 3 times with maximum feeling, awareness, and certainty. Relax all efforts. Have awareness of your body and the position that your body is lying in. Starting to become familiar with your surroundings. Listening carefully for any noises that you can hear. And as you start to bring your awareness round, you might want to start to introduce some movements into your body, wiggling your fingers, your toes, stretching out your arms and legs. Any kind of movement that feels right for you. So I'll leave you here now to take your own time coming round. And then when you feel ready to, you can sit yourself up and open your eyes, and then today's practice will be complete. Thank you so much.